music has been a huge part of my life since I can remember. Like, my family said that I sang before I talked. So it's always been like a language for me. And it's always been easier for me to, I don't know, portray through the music than like just speaking. It's been easier that way. But my father played guitar. I have a family of musicians. So I was introduced to music very early, but there was a rough my childhood was very rough, so it wasn't like I had music classes, and so nothing was like formal, but I'm a self-taught musician other than the basics that I learned from
Wow.
family that were musicians. They were addicts, so they weren't really in the spot to really teach that to me. My cousin Matt, they had more money than we did, so he got music classes and he got um, like lessons from really well-known musicians around my area, which was Rockford area in northern Illinois. And he taught me a lot, and I looked up to him a lot. He's 6 years older than me. So
Okay.
he started playing the violin, so I wanted to play the violin. But I wasn't able to get into the orchestra class because my parents weren't setting things up for me. But I ended up getting in music in just a general music class. And my teacher realized very quickly my prior knowledge that I already had in music, and she just knew I needed to be somewhere else, like that was going to challenge me more. So she kind of finagled things to get me into the orchestra class, and I was first chair like my first week, so
Wow.
everything I do my best at too. So and then so my first music teacher name was Mrs. Richard, and she was
I
I
love that
believe,
name.
yeah, right. The
Richard.
name. I believe she
Yeah.
was an angel. And then I get transferred into the actual orchestra class, and it was like his name was Mr. Garwood, and he was like this older hippie guy and long hair, clearly like Native American, or partially anyway. And just these influences that I look at now that, it was just normal back then, but like not everybody has that experience because it wasn't just music that these people taught me.
I guess what I also wanted to say was, yeah, I had no idea that there was this spiritual music till Gabby started sending it to me. I didn't know about Nako or Trevor Hall, and I remember it came at a really important time when it was just obviously it was a divine thing. It came to me at an important part in my life where I felt like it served a real purpose. She would send me a list and I'd be like ready to go for a run and I'd put it on my playlist and I'd go out and it would just like a prayer, like you said. So,
And there's so much information that comes through it, especially with Trevor Hall. He takes old parables from like the Vedas and different poems from like, we're talking old world before
wow.
Christ stuff, and he's like modernizing it and putting it into his songs. And it's like a transfer of energy and knowledge that like you're really not going to get anywhere else. And for people who wouldn't go look at like the Vedic texts or into these Eastern religions, like it's a huge introduction to modern Western culture.